Welcome to listen to QA Dental original podcast series Karonkka. I'm dentist Mikko Nyman. Today our guest is Dr. Christoph Thalacker. Christoph is the head of Adhesives Research and Development at 3M Oral Care. Christoph has published 19 publications in peer-reviewed journals, 26 patent families and over 30 presentations at international conferences. Welcome, Christoph, and thank you for accepting our interview invitation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mikko, for hosting me. It's an exciting opportunity for me. It's actually the first time for me to have a podcast recorded, and so I'm excited about talking a little bit about myself and what I'm doing at 3M about dental adhesives and restorative dentistry in general.
Great. Since we are doing a podcast series on doctoral dissertations, I must ask, what was the topic of your doctoral thesis?
That was a self-assembly of functional perilene dyes into supramolecular structures based on hydrogen bonding and pi-pi interactions. So a topic that has nothing to do with dentistry at all, but it was fun and interesting chemistry.
Okay. And you are a chemist by profession?
Right.
Okay, great.
Maybe I can add, when I joined 3M Oral Care or 3M SP at that time in 2001, I had barely no touch points with dentistry, except for the usual visit to the dentist every 6 months. But I think in the meantime, I learned a lot about dentistry. It's also an exciting topic, and I like to be there at the crossroads between chemistry, material science, and dentistry.
Yeah, so let's go to your work at 3M Oral Care. First, could you describe your work and responsibilities at 3M Oral Care?
Well, as you said, I'm responsible for the development of our dental adhesives. So I coordinate the lab work with the development team. Um, we then typically work in project teams with defined work packages for the development of a new product. So I collaborate with the other work packages. I also was a project leader before, where I had to make sure that the work packages deliver their results on time. So in general, my duty is also to ensure that the development work stays on track. That if there is an issue, it gets resolved, and we inform the rest of the team and the organization. Another important aspect of my work is IP, intellectual property. So I need to make sure that our development work is protected by filing own patents together with the attorneys we have at 3M. I'm also tracking competitive activities. I look into patent databases to see what our competitors are doing and find out about their strategies or see if they are filing patents which might interfere with our activities. Um, Another important aspect, again, is to collaborate with external partners. We have good relations with many universities and dental schools and also material science researchers worldwide. So we set up in vitro studies and later in the project also in vivo studies. I have colleagues who are dedicated to these university contacts, but very often I'm also involved in discussing study protocols or discussing the results and looking into the progress of the study. And in the almost 20 years I've spent with 3M Oral Care, I was fortunate to set up good personal relations with many researchers in the dental field as well. Then again, another important part of my work is to train my colleagues at 3M on our new products and also to provide lectures, webinars, and the like to doctors and universities. Um, and also to spread the word about our products and to show that there is a solid scientific background, how we develop them, how they work, and to summarize the evidence that is published.
Mm. So you started your work in year 2000 or around that time at 3M.
Yeah, in 2001. Yeah, right after my PhD. So it was my first job, and I still like it a lot because it's very interesting. No day is like the other, and of course, over the years, I was involved in many different projects or development of different products, which gave me a lot of variety while staying in the same job.
Mm. Have you counted, how many research and development projects have you been taking part since 2000?
Oh, I could count them. Do you want me to name the products where I was involved?
Well,
So
at least
when
some,
I
yeah.
started, when I started at 3M, I was involved in or I got on the project of developing Filtech Silorane and the adhesive to go with that composite. That was low shrinkage, low stress composite based not on methacrylate chemistry, which is the basis of all dental composites and adhesives, but on ring opening cationic polymerization with the benefit of low shrinkage and stress. Um, it was a very challenging thing because we had to develop everything from scratch. We couldn't use the usual fillers used until then for methacrylate-based composites. We had to develop a new resin, a new adhesive to go with it. And clinically it worked, but unfortunately the tangible benefits for the doctors were not there. So the research, the success in the market, which is also important for a company, because at the end you need to earn money to pay your employees and your shareholders. The financial success wasn't there as we hoped. So it got replaced by Filtech bulk fill posterior, where I was also involved, which was then a low shrinkage, low stress methacrylate based composite, which was then again replaced by Filtech One as a more aesthetic version of that bulk fill composite. And on the adhesive side, I was involved. Of course, my group developed the system adhesive for the Filtech Silorane, and from that chemistry, we based on that chemistry, we developed at per easy bond one bottle self-etch adhesive, which again was the chemical basis for Scotchbond Universal, which was a very successful product because it was the first truly universal adhesive, and I'm quite proud to say that we created a new category in the adhesives arena with this product.
Okay. So then next, let's discuss about the teamwork and also the 3M culture. I have read a few business books and quite many of them have mentioned the 3M's unique culture. It's called 15% culture. Could you tell us about this culture and does it apply to 3M oral care also?
Yes, of course. The 15% culture means that 3M allows every employee to devote 15% of his or her paid time to pursue own ideas, which will hopefully result in new products, new ways to the market, new customer services, and so on. Um, Without being bound to, let's say, goals set up by the manager or,
It applies to oral care also then.
absolutely, yeah. Oral care is part of 3M. And also another aspect that fits nicely there is that, at 3M, we have access to all the technologies which are also used in other parts of the company. And of course, it's great to have that 15% approach to develop contacts with other researchers, let's say in the corporate research lab, or working on our industrial adhesives, for instance, because many of these technologies have common elements like resin chemistries or fillers, which can then be used also for dental applications, like for instance the zirconia nanofillers, which we have in our filling composites, have originally been developed for optical films like you would find on the displays of cell phones or computers.
Hmm. That's a great benefit that you have a big company that's doing many
Right.
different
Yeah.
projects.
Right. Another aspect about the 3M culture is that we have what's called the dual ladder model, which means that when you advance in your career, you can also get higher, what we call job grades or higher reputation, which is also linked then, of course, to your income, not only by having more and more people reporting to you, which would be a career as a manager, but you can also advance in your career as an expert, which then allows people like myself, I'm on the expert side of the dual ladder, um, which allows me to focus on my scientific work and not having to do all the management duties, budget planning, discussions about who should be on which project and so on. And that's not common in because in many other companies, in order to advance in your career, you would have to oversee more and more people. So they only have the management side as a career option.
Okay. When you build up this research and development team for some product or project, what professionals are usually in the team when we discuss about, for example, adhesives or composite research and development?
Oh, of course, first you need a team in the lab to make prototypes to develop the formulation. And at the same time, you need experts on packaging materials because new materials also need to be stored safely. So they can be stored on the shelf at the dentist or at the dealer and are still good to use until the expiry date. And for instance, for Scotchbond Universal, we developed a new vial with that flip top cap, so it can be opened with one hand. And that's also an internal development at 3M. Then we have a patent attorney on the team who will help us filing intellectual property on our developments. We have colleagues who get customer input for us, which means they have contact to a group of dentists from different countries who have a confidentiality agreement. So we can show them early on prototypes and get their opinion. Is this the right thing, or should we modify something, or is this a stupid idea which we should scrap at all? Um, then we need colleagues who arrange university contacts so we can have independent opinions on our prototypes. Um, we need colleagues in the process development, who make sure that we can transfer a product from a small scale at the lab bench to the factory, where it can then be manufactured at the scale of several hundred kilograms. And it's still the same properties and qualities as when you do it on a small beaker in the lab. We need colleagues in the regulatory group who will do the registration of our medical devices in the different countries. We need product safety experts who will arrange for the biocompatibility evaluation of the material. And so you can see there is many different functions involved in such a project team to make sure that every step is done well, also in accordance with the applicable ISO standards for medical devices, to make sure that the product is safe to use at the end and has a good quality and meets the expectations of the customer.
Okay. Before we go to the one example research and development project, I'm really interested to know in where do you get the new ideas and new innovations? Because I'm wondering that are there dentists who bring you these ideas that some new product could be needed, or because now we have composites, we have every year new composites, new adhesives, better and better, but totally new products. How do you get the ideas for those?
Yeah, of course, that's an important part of my job to come up with new ideas. Um, but of course, there is many different ways how we can get ideas. Yeah, in fact, yeah, there is dentists who approach us, maybe not so much with technical solutions, but of course, they tell us about their pain points and say, let's say, yeah, it would be great to have an adhesive that's totally insensitive to moisture or would even maybe cure in the presence of moisture. And or yeah, like when you think back about Scotchbond Universal, um, which we launched in 2011. At that time, there were self-etch and etch and rinse adhesives in the market that worked well. So, and the industry had been focusing on developing self-etch adhesives for many years, while university researchers still kept telling, yeah, total etch or etch and rinse adhesives are still better. And because of that dilemma, most doctors had had different adhesives in their operatory, um, which they would use for different indications. Also, at that time, you needed a separate primer for every restoration material. You needed a primer for metal. You needed a primer for zirconia, for glass ceramic, and so on. And yeah, our market research showed us, well, this is how yeah, the adhesive market is split. This is the preferred materials, let's say in North America, for Europe, and so on. And so I came up with the idea, well, let's try not to focus on the next self-etch adhesive, which would just be another Me Too product, but let's accept the fact that doctors are not using only self-etch adhesive, but they still have total etch. So let's make one adhesive that serves both categories. And in addition, let's see if we can add all those primer functions into the same chemistry. And so we went to the lab and we made several hundred formulations until we came up with what is now Scotchbond Universal. And yeah, so we are often inspired by doctors or contacts with university researchers. And yeah, then we have our own sources of information, like the market research I mentioned. And yeah, that leads to the ideas of new products.